The Curse of Umu Ikenga. In a small village nestled deep in the forests of eastern Nigeria, there was once a little girl born under strange circumstances. Her name was Adaeze, which means princess. But she was far from a princess in the eyes of the villagers. Her arrival was marked by an unsettling darkness in the skies. And the elders whispered that the gods had sent her as an omen, a curse to the village. The day she was born, her mother died instantly after her birth. This was a bad omen in the village. The villagers believed that Adaeze's birth has brought the death of the mother and the misfortune that followed. They said she was an abomination, a child of evil who will bring suffering to all who dared to care for her. And so the elders decided that the best thing to do was to leave her in the evil forest to die. But fate had other plans. A young hunter named Chijioke, a strong and brave man, he went into the forest for his daily hunt. He had not caught any single animal for 2 days. This was very strange because Chijioke never misses a catch. On that day, as he wandered deep in the woods, he heard a soft cry. That cry sounded like that of a child. His heart sank. He stood still. He followed the sound, and to his shock, he found the little girl lying in the grass, abandoned and crying. Her skin was pale. Her eyes was wide open, full of fear. She had been left to die. But somehow, she was still alive. Chijioke's heart softened. He had no family of his own, but he felt a strange connection to this child. Chijioke gently picked her up and cuddled her in his arms. For the next 2 days, Chijioke couldn't hunt, but instead he cared for the little girl, feeding her with little food he had. He called her Adaeze. So Chijioke was the one who named the little girl Adaeze. And this little Adaeze was the name the mother wished to have given the little girl. But because of the circumstances of her death, no one called that girl Adaeze until fate brought Chijioke to name her Adaeze. He grew to love her as though she were his own daughter. Meanwhile, back in the village, the elders gathered. They consulted the Ifa priest, a wise man who read the signs of the gods. The Ifa priest told them what they feared. He told them Adaeze was not just a child, but a curse, an abomination that had to be destroyed. The village could not thrive with her living among them. If they did not act fast, a terrible misfortune would befall them. That night, 4 strong men were sent to bring Adaeze back from Chijioke's house so that Adaeze could be killed and thrown away once and forever. The instruction was go to Chijioke's house, get the girl from Chijioke and bring it to the elders, where she will be buried alive to appease the gods and save the village. While Chijioke was in his house with Adaeze, he suddenly overheard footsteps near his hut. He was a strong hunter and always ready. He came out and fought the 4 men with all his strength, knocking 2 down to the ground and chasing others in the forest. With Adaeze in his arms, Chijioke fled into the jungle away from the village. The elders summoned a search party and the villagers searched the forest for them. They searched everywhere in the forest, but they could not find the hunter or the girl. Chijioke lived in the forest with Adaeze for many years. Adaeze grew and became strong and had strange gifts attached to her. Soon, her special gifts started manifesting. One day, while they were out hunting, Adaeze stumbled upon 3 shiny stones in the dirt. She picked them up and gazed at them closely. He looked at the father, Chijioke, and in her voice, heavy rain is coming.
We must go back to the hut now.
Chijioke looked confused but trusted her. They hurried back to the hut, and soon dark clouds gathered in the sky. Thunder roared everywhere, and the rain as if the gods hunger in the forest became unbearable. Adaeze, seeing 3 stones again, once more picked up the stone and told Chijioke, "Turn to your right. Within 10 meters, you will find an antelope," she said. And to his amazement, he did. He found the antelope grazing in the clearing, and Chijioke killed it with one swift arrow. Chijioke was very happy. Then, one day, Adaeze was moving in the forest and found a strange elderly man lying down so sick. Adaeze, looking at her in confusion, but decided to help him. Adaeze used the leaves from the forest to treat him, and the man became well. Soon, the village began to hear strange stories from those who had ventured into the forest. Some spoke of a man healed from a sickness that nearly killed him, thanks to Adaeze. When the elderly man went back to the village, he called everybody and told them how his life was spared by Adaeze, who healed him with some leaves mysteriously. The man had told them that he was too weak and was looking for where to lie and die, because he has tried everything to treat his ailment, but nowhere to get healing. After traveling the whole villages, the whole mountains, the whole caves, there was no healing. he was actually looking for where he would lay and die until Adaeze came to his rescue. The elders, everybody in the village were surprised. The word spread like wildfire. At this period, there was a famine in the village. The king had lost 7 of his chiefs to mysterious illness, including the chief priest. The king's wife was critically sick and about to give up if help did not come. So the king summoned the elders and demanded to know the cause of this sickness. The elders rumored of the mysterious healing little girl in the bush, Adaeze, who healed a man of a sickness that has killed many. The king became curious. He was very desperate to find a solution to stopping the death in the village, especially the one that has come to his household. He sent for Adaeze. Despite having a fear in his heart, but the king decided to send for Adaeze. When Chijioke received the men from the king and the message from the king, he refused to honor the king. He said he would not let the girl to go and see the king because he feared that if the girl gets to the village, she may be killed. He told them that the same girl they are coming to seek for her help was the girl that the whole village searched and wanted to kill. But the king would not rest. He sent more men, promising them that they will protect Adaeze, that nothing is going to happen to Adaeze. He swore by the throne that if Chijioke would allow Adaeze come to the village and bring a solution to the deaths in the village, he would give Chijioke anything he asked of him, even if it's his life. Chijioke insisted that Adaeze was not going. But Adaeze took him to the corner and convinced him that if this is the will of the gods, let it be. Reluctantly, Chijioke agreed, but on a condition that he was going to go with Adaeze, and if anything should happen, he wouldn't fail to strike anybody. So the elders left. The next day, Chijioke and Adaeze left the forest to the palace. In the king's palace, Adaeze addressed the kings and the elders. She raised up the 3 stones. After a long silence, Adaeze told the king that they misinformed him when she was born. She told the king that the chief priest then had received a message from the gods that she, Adaeze, would take over from him, and that she, Adaeze, has the powers to protect the village. Adaeze informed the king that Chijioke is the chosen one to be the king of the village. But instead of the chief priest to pass that information, in connivance with the elders with him, they decided to change the information from the gods to suit them. they decided out of greed that the chief priest don't want to see himself being chased away from his office, change the story that she, Adaeze, was a child of evil circumstance who must be killed and used to appease the gods. The king was shocked to hear this story. But the king understood that if this story were to be lie, the evil things happening in the village would not be happening. And on this, the king told the elders sitting present that as a king, his land has been contaminated. Things are going bad. And as a king, he will not, out of selfishness, endanger more people. For that, he raised his right hand and declared that he is stepping down from the throne, and Chijioke should be crowned the new king, while Adaeze should take charge of divinity with the oracles. Once Adaeze can change the situation of the town, everybody would have to bow and worship to whatever they said. Adaeze promised them that within 1 week, the evil things happening in the town would change for good, and everything that has been pegged to be evil will all go away, that the dark days are over, because the king is a nice man. She promised them that the king shall ever remain the king, even if he's not on the throne, but he shall be served as a king until the last day, because he, as the king, has decided to set aside his selfish ambition, but put the people of the community first. Everybody in the palace looked quiet and were calm. The king pronounced that the village, which was formerly Umu Ikwo, would no longer be Umu Ikwo, but will now be called Umu Ikenga. And Chijioke will be known as Aki Ikenga. Everybody were surprised at what the king said. Few days later, every dead thing in the village, every dead leaf, dead plant began to rise. People that were sick began to get better. Things started getting better. Umu Ikenga became a place of peace, where power of love, faith, and strength ruled. And though Adaeze and Chijioke ruled the village, they never forgot the pain and the suffering they endured to reach the place. The gods had chosen them, and they had answered.